I don't have any attachment to this franchise. In fact, I don't even like any of it. I didn't like the first one. I skipped the second one, the most recent one. I was disappointed. I thought it was one of the better trailers I've ever seen, but the movie was not for me. This, though, I don't understand what happened, but this honestly is probably my favorite zombie movie of all time. Can you say that 25 minutes after seeing a movie? I don't know. You tell me. But this was special, and I will tell everyone I see for years, like, yo, have you seen? I'm sorry, I'm so excited. Have you seen Bone Temple? And they'll be like, woo. No, no, no. You need to sit down and see Bone Temple. The last movie I did that with was not in my top 10 for that year, I don't think. But there was this movie called Strange Darling, and whatever. Look it up. Great. Okay, I'm gonna give my description of this movie and then my review, but just go ahead and see it. It's a 10 out of 10. I'm just gonna tell you, it's 10 out of 10. I love this. I don't know. I gotta see it again. It's so rewatchable to me because there's some action in there that's extremely brutal, and then there's some reflective moments in there where you're just like, huh, that little thing that character did might mean more to me on a second watch. It meant a lot on the first, but I might even get more of what's happening here earlier on. And I just, I don't know, man. I'm so excited. Okay, so 28 years after a zombie apocalypse ravages the United Kingdom, the few innocent souls left must not only contend with the undead, but also the moralist mortals who have abandoned personhood in favor of persistence. We follow three intersecting paths journeyed by the following: a doctor, a sadistic satanist cult, and an alpha slash a zombie. These paths converge in thrilling ways to emphasize both brutality and the beauty of men, while also not men. I mean, men are beautiful too, but like mankind, while also exploring the power of mindfulness. I don't mean to be hyperbolic, like I said, but this is the peak of zombie movies for me. It felt effortless in how it interwove themes of nature, nihilism, faith, with brutal sequences of torture and gore. The moments of action are evenly distributed where you feel like its pacing is good, but you're not getting like a high octane action movie with this. But it wasn't seeking to be that anyway, and nor should you seek that from this movie because there's so many versions of that out there. This is unique. It's wholly original. Like everything about this movie had you sitting back in your chair like, where is this going? You can see where it's like it's threading a certain pattern, and you start to see the picture from there, but you still don't understand scene to scene like what is really about to happen here. I don't know. The music in this exceptional. I've never listened to Iron Maiden, but on the way home I went on Spotify, turned on some Iron Maiden. It's like 25 degrees probably with the wind chill. I had my windows down. I was like, this is what life is. And that's why I say this movie speaks about mindfulness a little bit. Not even a little bit, kind of a lot of it. Like, I have personally not been a person that has been very mindful in my life. I'm always like frantic and freaking out. And one time, about a year and a half ago, this woman was like, hey, like, have you ever just sat and just said to yourself the actions you're doing? Have you ever just said, oh, I'm going on the freeway, I'm going 75 miles an hour. And, oh, the wind's kind of loud today. And this, that, and another. And I was like, no, of course not. Now, I have the internal monologue like most of us, but like I've never just sat and been. Common has this album called B, Common the Rapper. B is one of the greatest hip hop albums of like the last probably like 30 years. Exceptional. Anyway, so this movie features like obviously Ray Fiennes' character, who is the architect of the Bone Temple. And let me get the character's name for a second. Sorry. Yeah, he plays Dr. Ian Kelson. Now, Ian Kelson is this doctor that previously established in the last movie is believed to be like just a nutcase by everyone around. Everyone knows this dude looks like he's soaked in blood and is putting bone structures up. But he's really a pure-hearted person, and he is like doing tests. This is not a spoiler review, by the way, but he's like clearly doing tests to kind of figure out what's going on. Everyone else is just kind of committed to violence. But he's like scientifically trying to figure things out, has this hypothesis. He's working through different procedures and measures. Cool guy, right? On the opposite end of that spectrum, you have, what is his name? Yeah, Jack O'Connell's character. Jack O'Connell played the vampire, like the main vampire in Sinners. But he's exceptional in this as well. He has such a menacing presence. But his whole cult is based off this now dead, but more importantly, defamed, like British celebrity named Jimmy Savile. I don't know exactly what he was famous for. I think radio maybe, but he was learned to be a pedophile. And unlike here in the States, when you learn someone's a pedophile, people in the UK, I guess, get very upset. rightfully so, and they kind of, yeah, they shunned him post-death, like posthumously. Is it posthumously or posthumously? Because me and my little sister were talking, and I was like, I've been saying posthumously my whole life, and I'm going to continue saying that, but like, I don't even know. Don't even tell me. But anyway, this is just insane, like insane pop culture reference for the Brits. But also more importantly, like I I don't know, maybe it's a commentary on like the things we hang on to when life ends, the moments that mean the most. Like there's obviously a reference to Jimmy Savile, which is like this gang of characters called the Jimmies, but also there's a Teletubbies little dialogue moment where it's just like, why is he he's talking about the Teletubbies? Like cool, but like why? I think maybe the writer Alex Garland is trying to say something about like what we hang on to. Obviously, like Iron Maiden has a huge part in this because there's this 3-minute sequence where Ray Fiennes' character is just like doing things to an Iron Maiden song. Speaking of which, never heard Iron Maiden, but like that is exceptional. That is something I will be purchasing. As you can see, kind of, I buy a lot of records. Used to, got really expensive, but I'm gonna go find some Iron Maiden. Anyway, the Jimmies. The Jimmies are these like psycho kids. You can't tell how many of them are like victims of Jack O'Connell's character. Clearly all of them to a degree, but there's varying levels of commitment within the group. So you get to kind of see this internal conflict against this like terroristic group that exists in this world. And then we have the character from the last movie, Spike. He has gotten like, caught up with them because they kind of saved him at the end of the last movie. But he's obviously way more innocent than these kids are. So it's just like this odd thing happening where you have a cult and an innocent kid and a lot of a lot of damaging actions happening. But speaking of Jimmy, I was thinking of like what songs had the word Jimmy. I just think of names and I think of songs. Like I'm that annoying guy. Like, oh my God, your name is Geraldine. There's a song called Ballad of Geraldine by Donovan. It's really good. So I thought of two. I thought of Jimmy the Exploder by the White Stripes. And then this one's something people probably don't know. Laura Nyro, one of the greatest pianists in American history. She passed away, unfortunately, but she had an album with the LaBelles, which does feature Patti LaBelle. And there's a song called Jimmy Mac on here. And Jimmy Mac is a really good song. Anyway, I love this movie, 10 out of 10. The Jimmies are crazy. It's scary. It's brutal. There's torture scenes. I mean, very good gore to the point you're just like, man, y'all are having a blast with this. Like the effects team is so good, but like you can tell somebody's like, let's just do that again just to do it. But this is really good. And like you should watch whatever content creator you like that does a spoiler review because there's so much to really unpack here. And I think this is going to be a really rewatchable movie for me because there are like different modes of the movie. There's some action. There's just like apocalyptic stuff. There's very like introspective, what is humanity? What is life sort of situations happening. And then there's just like, wow, Satanists are crazy. There's all this happening. And I think different days will call for different moments of rewatchability. But yeah, I really can't recommend this enough. 10 out of 10. I don't know, man. This is a strong start to the year. This is my second movie of the year after Primate. But this was really good.